Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining with us today in this exciting interview with Luis Caetano. Of course, Luis is the co-founder and the creator of so many brands. He's the co-founder of BrandPlus Group in Portugal. And BrandPlus is one of the leading food service operations in Portugal and Europe. And as we usually do, we invite expertise and we take some case studies and meet with the shakers and makers of the food and beverage franchise business worldwide. Of course, if you don't know me, my name is Sary Hamway. I'm the founder and the CEO of the Franchise Trainer. And the Franchise Trainer is an education platform, provides franchise training, consultancy, and most of all, micro and small, medium-sized franchise support. We keep getting more people arriving into the webinar, which is great. So thank you very much once again. Just a point of housekeeping. We're going to keep, you can show videos whenever you want, but I suggest that you all mute yourself and stop your video, only unmute yourself and start your video when we start the questions. So if you have a question, put your video back and unmute yourself. So you're free to do that. I'm not going to control that. So that's on the housekeeping side. Let me start by making an introduction to Luis. Luis, I know Luis for what now? Maybe 15 years or maybe little less or little more. I don't remember. We've done so much business together, and on a personal level, Luis is the nicest person you can ever meet in your life. He's a great one of
Thank
the
you, Sary.
Thank you, sir. He's one of the greatest guys. Of course, he's a brand machine. He's a creator. He develops ideas into real life restaurants and mainly very, very successful restaurants. He's a franchise developer and operator. He's a franchise marketeer, a big foodie, although that he doesn't look of too much weight. I know he likes more of a gourmet food. And of course, he's a fast food specialist. And we're going to take it now with Luis. I have prepared for you, Luis, today so many questions because...
Okay, excellent. Let's go for it.
Yeah, I want to learn from you. And of course, everybody who are joining today want to learn from you as well.
Okay.
With your background and experience in food and beverage, especially fast food, you created your own brands. You took some franchises, and all of them are very successful. And we want to learn from you today. So I have prepared a few questions for you. And the first thing that comes to my mind is when you create a food and beverage business, a fast food business, how do you make it franchisable? Do you consider franchising when you are creating a brand? What elements that you need to add to the concept development process so that you make sure that the brand is franchisable in the future?
First of all, when we develop a brand, we don't think straight away that we're going to start doing franchising. We develop the brand, we see how how it's first we have to see that there's a need in the market. So we look for products that are unique, different, things that we want to add our personal touch to it. And if the market accepts it, if the market reacts and likes it, then we start going to the next level. So that's where we put in the operational manuals, we put in the marketing manuals, we put in the sales manuals, and we'll start getting it ready to be franchisable. So not every concept is franchisable, Sary. I know a lot of restaurateurs and a lot of guys will come to you and they say, I've got this restaurant, it's fantastic, and you're the right guy to make it grow. Yeah, I can help them, but I mean, not all restaurants are franchisable. So it's you have to be able to see the big picture, and the big picture, you have to understand that again, not every restaurant is franchisable. So yeah.
And why you say that? I mean, what other restaurants lack? Like when you create a concept, you say you don't consider franchising from the beginning. Although I'm sure you do, like things like the identity elements. You take into account that, of course, in the future, if you franchise that brand, it has to has the minimum qualities of a franchisable brand. Is that correct?
Always. When you develop the brand, you have to have, especially when it comes to identity, people need to relate to it. People need to see that there's something special. So we invest a lot in the brand image, in the concept. We make it as attractable as possible. Looking at the cost, especially lately when it comes to the opening of the concept, the kitchen equipment is also a very big variable. All these components are things that we look at when we're looking at opening a new concept.
So you mentioned that not all restaurants or food service operations are franchisable. What makes one brand franchisable and the other brand not very franchisable?
It depends again. Things that work in some markets won't work in other markets. For example, when it comes to typically local customer foods that people are not used to eating in other places, so you won't be able to franchise that business model in other markets. I look at always, we have a concept, it's a Portuguese concept, it's called Bifana Maria. It's a pork orientated concept. That type of thing won't work in other markets. So we focus on local markets. Okay. Yeah, basically that.
Yeah, all right. Okay. So it's fair enough that maybe we give you a few minutes to talk about the brands that you have developed. And I am a great fan of all of them. And the brands that you have taken the franchise for to Portugal. So maybe you spend the next few minutes talking about these brands and how they started and what are they offering and so forth.
Okay. The first brand I want to talk about is Burger Ranch. Burger Ranch is our baby. It was developed in 1993. It's a burger concept. Why are we unique? We use a potato bun and we grill our burgers, 125-gram burger on a broiler. And what makes it so special is that when we finish grilling the product, we dip it in a secret barbecue sauce. So that is our uniqueness. So all that mixture of the red onion, the iceberg lettuce, the fresh tomato, the barbecue sauce, and our cocktail sauce, all that mixed together makes our special burger. Our burgers, we have all different types of toppings. We do them all different ways. We have extras of all types. A customer can have it any way he wants it. But again, why is it special? When it comes off the grill, we dip it in our secret sauce. Makes it a juicy, lovely product. With Burger Ranch, in Portugal, we have 35 locations. We have corporate stores, we have joint ventured, and we have franchise locations. We've had to, go, when it comes to technology, we've had to adapt to all the local, what the market is gearing towards. So we have an app, we have self-service kiosk, very strong on the app purpose, so people can already order on our app. I'll be showing you later a little bit how our app works, so you can understand. Our stores are geared towards comfort, very relaxed atmosphere, very modern, very European feel to it. Okay. We focus on the customer when he comes into our restaurant. He has to feel good. He has to feel relaxed. He has to feel as if he's at home. We look a lot into the lighting aspects of the restaurant, very important, so that the customer can stay that extra 10 minutes, 15 minutes, have an espresso, have an extra coffee, have a sweetener, have something sweet. Always focusing on the whole customer experience. Okay. With the Burger Ranch, we have a whole lot of options, being more locations, starting from 60 square meters to standalone locations, high street. We can adapt. That's a big plus on our side with the Burger Ranch. We can adapt the brand to each location. We don't have to. We don't say no. We have to have it in a 200 square meter location. No. What's important for us is that the brand is in the right location. Because of the burger industry, there's so many options. So we have to be convenient enough so that people can see us and they can relate us and they'll come into our restaurant. Our second concept that we've developed is it's called OSB, minutes, Portuguese minute steak, and it's exactly that. It's a minute steak done on the grill. You can have it with a whole lot of different options, being from fresh cut fries to jasmine rice to spinach, and all different types of sauces. Very homely, very quick. We bought the fast food option, operation style that we learned from Burger Ranch, and we implemented it in OSB. So it's very, customers look at it and they can see the Portuguese feel to it, with the fresh mushroom sauce, the fresh pepper sauce, all easily done in such a way that you don't need high-end chefs to do these meals. So when we developed the concept, we thought, how do you get a home-cooked meal done by a normal guy on the line? So we developed the concept so that anybody can work in the kitchen, anybody can do the plating, anybody with the teaching, in a week they're ready to work in the kitchen and operate the restaurant. It's very Portuguese based. people can relate to it. In Portugal, we have a region. It's called the Algarve region. It's visited by a lot of tourists from, especially from the UK, and they love the product because it's homely, it's quick, it's not fast food, but it is because it's so quick, and they like it, yeah.
And what cut? Is it a rib eye, or is it what kind of the cut? What meat cut do you use?
It's not. I don't know the name in English. Sorry.
Say it in Portuguese, or maybe I'll.
It's a saying. A saying. Do you know it? A saying?
No.
A saying. It's a thin cut. Obviously, it's a minute steak.
Okay.
So it's obviously it's 100 and between 135 and 150 grams.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So for a minute steak, it has to be between that kind of weight, 100, 125.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's tenderized. We tenderize the meat so that once it's on the grill, it's quick, it's easy, and we have the option of beef, chicken, fish. So it's a minute steak with all these products. So you can have all these sauces, all these sides with this. With this concept, we have them in mall locations, high street, and we've started developing now in freestanding. The COVID aspect of all these things, people started looking towards developing restaurants outside the malls in Portugal. Okay, I don't know how it is in the UAE, but everything that's drive-through is going crazy here. More locations are having a harder time. Okay, people don't want to be.
What side dishes do you serve with the minute steak?
Side dishes. Well, the minute steaks can come accompanied with those hand cut fries, with a jasmine rice, with creamed spinach, with smashed potato. So we have a few other options, and a Portuguese favorite that people don't know, with all the minute steaks, you put a fried egg on it. So it's something so simple, but the egg on top of the steak, and while with the yolk, and you're mixing it, it's really wholesome.
Yeah. Okay.
And another special thing that we do that's actually very typical, we make fresh lemonade in the store. So like I said, a home cooked meal at easy at a reasonable price. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
With the next concepts we've got is the master franchisees for two concepts in Portugal. One is from the US, which is Baja Fresh Mexican Grill, and the other is the Walk and Go, which is a brand from the UK. Why did we do this? First of all, we needed to add different concepts and brands to our portfolio. We needed to be able to, when we had locations and they were too big, we needed to have the power, and we need to have the brand that we can go into a location and do a multi-concept offering. So as before, we would go into location and maybe do a 200 square meter burger ranch. Now we can go into a location with, let's say, 400 meters, and we can put 3 concepts in there. We can put in burger ranch, we can put in Baja Fresh, and we can put in OSB. Or if we see that the burger ranch is not interesting, we'll put in the Walk and Go. So by becoming franchisees of these brands, we were able to widen our portfolio, and we were made stronger by, we could go into any place with 4 or 5 different options.
Yeah.
And it's made it easier for us. So we're able to look at more locations. We're able to grow the store numbers a lot easier. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I understand Baja Fresh is Mexican food.
Yeah.
The kind of tacos and quesadillas and stuff.
Baja, why we chose Baja Fresh? Baja Fresh was started in California, USA, in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
It has that Californian feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that freshness, you know, the avocado, the fresh avocado, and everything is grilled.
Mm.
So you won't find fried products on the menu. You don't have a freezer in the store. Everything is freshly made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, and Walk and Go is Asian food. I take it. It's from the UK.
Walk and Go is exactly that. It's Asian food done on a wok. Very popular. You know, very quick. You have all the mixtures with the wok, and people love to see the flame. What attracted us to that concept was the fact that you could adapt a small location to it. So you could have, for example, a burger ranch with maybe like 150 square meters. In that 150 square meters, you could put 20 square meters located to the wok, because all you needed was the wok station and the front cellar. Mm-hmm. So in one location, you had two offerings.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things.
That's co-branding in the same location.
Yeah.
Right. And the franchisor allows you to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. The franchisor, obviously, each market is unique. You know, every market. What works in the UK, for example, doesn't necessarily mean it will work in Portugal. So when we told the guys from Walk and Go, and we told them, look, in Portugal, this is how we believe the brand should go, and this is how we think it will work. And they, you know, we've been in the market for over 30 years, so you know, they believe us, and it is working, and it works. So we are by having a multi-concept location, we are able to, again, have different offerings for the customer. We would never be able to sell what we're selling in the location from just one brand.
Okay, yeah.
And that is at the end of the day, that's what we all want. You know,
so that's a lesson to learn. Yeah, I mean, if you have more options, you can do co-branding. You can get the best of one location, and you can maximize sales for one brand on the account of, you know, another famous brand. But between all brands that you have created and you have taken the franchise for, which is your favorite? Which is your favorite?
My baby is still Burger Ranch. You know, we've gone through a lot with the concept. We've grown a lot with the concept. It's a concept that you know, we've gone through everything with it.
Yeah.
Our new brand, the OSB, has got a lot of potential. You know, we're growing a lot on the local market. You know, there's a lot of opportunities, and we feel, especially when it comes to when we see the international tourists and the way they can relate to it, and when they eat the food and they say, "Wow, this is amazing."
Yeah.
We see the potential in it internationally.
Yeah.
Regarding the international brand, you know, I love the brand. The Baja Fresh is fantastic. The food, the freshness of the food, the healthiness of the food. You know, you just feel the freshness. You know, it's homemade. It's done in store every day.
Yeah.
So again, the market is looking for concepts like that. The market is looking for freshness, is looking for healthier options. And Budget Fresh is exactly that. Walk and Go, again, it's wok. It's Asian you. It's very popular. The market, again, we like the concept because we saw the potential in developing the concept in a multi brand option. So, but again, Burger Ranch is still my baby. Yeah.
Right, and with the brands that you have acquired, BrandFresh and the Walk and Go, are you the master franchisee or are you country developer? I mean, can you sub-franchise or?
Yeah. We can sub-franchise. We have got the rights for Budget Fresh for Portugal and Spain, and Walk and Go we have for Spain. So we are developing store, and we will be able to franchise the stores as well.
Excellent. So how many locations? Is there a clause in the agreement that dictate that you have to develop a few locations before you start sub-franchising?
Before we start franchising, we need to have 7 owner-operated stores.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
So the guys that are the owners of Budget Fresh, they are Kahala brands from the US. They have a huge portfolio. They have over 40 brands in their portfolio. You know, they have something for everybody. And they again, they met with us. We met with them in Los Angeles, and then they came over and they looked into us, and they saw the potential, and they saw what the market was offering. And they gave us a chance, and we're doing it. If it wasn't for this COVID story, I think things would have been a lot different, you know, but we've had to adapt and change a little bit of our strategy. But I think from now on, I think things will be going in the right direction.
Yeah, it is getting better. So you are a franchisor and you are a franchisee, and you change hats. One time you are the person who's telling what to do, and on the other side, you know, you change hats and you're the franchisee, and you listen to what the franchisor tell you. You have to abide by their standards and quality and so forth. So how difficult is that?
We, as a brand, we didn't realize how good we were until we became franchisees. We thought, okay, we good, you know, we know what we're doing, but you know, these big brands, they've got more experience, they have more locations, they're better. We spent a lot of time, especially in the early days, developing the manuals, the operations, the everything related to the running of the store, and that has benefited us in the long run. These brands, they're fantastic. You know, they've got everything in place, but they have experience in local, like for example, Budget Fresh has experience in the US. And I'll give you a very simple problem that we encountered with them when it was regarding the fresh avocado. California is very well known for avocados, and they get it. You know, wherever you go, you can buy avocados anywhere. And when it came to us, getting avocados in Portugal was very difficult. So we had to come to an understanding with them and they had to, when they were here for the 2 months prior to the opening of the first store, they had to understand that the market was different. We had to make decisions. as a local franchisee, we had to make decisions, and they had to trust us. So in the beginning, it was very difficult, but they soon understood that as somebody in the market, we knew what was happening, and the way that we wanted to go was the right way. Okay.
Yeah.
So to cut a short story short, for some of the products, instead of using fresh avocados, we're using refrigerated avocados, which is it's a person that eats the product won't be able to tell the difference.
Okay.
But they insisted on having fresh, and we couldn't get fresh, so we're getting refrigerated.
All right.
Which is just a way that is used here in Europe, so that the product can last a lot longer.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let me make sure that everybody's muted.
No problem.
Okay. Right. So, so you say that you learned so much when you became a franchisee, and it even you gain more experience for being a franchisor. Can I, although that we're making it up to you to mute yourself or put your video up, can I ask everyone to mute unless they have a question, please? Right. So the obviously the next question is in developing a restaurant, where is the bottleneck? Where is the difficulty?
Sary, when it comes to bottleneck, we could be here the whole day talking. There's many things. I'm just going to give you what comes to my mind. 2 to 3 things that to me are very important, and throughout the years I've always learned to make the decision, especially when it comes to suppliers. You're always looking at the cheapest product or the right product at the cheapest price, but you have to have the right partner. You have to have the logistic guy has to be the right guy. He has to have product to sell to you. Sometimes it's not just about the price. Sometimes you have to pay the few cents extra to make sure that you get the right product always delivered to your restaurants when you need it. I know in the early days, it was always a cutthroat, especially, for example, fresh fries. Europe, it's very well known. All our fries come from, we call it the fresh Belgian belt, and it's very cutthroat. In the early days, we jumped from fries supplier to fries supplier, and we soon realized that we had to bet on a brand. And we've been working with the company Lutosa. They develop our own fry brand, and we've been doing it through a logistic partner. And we've been, just so you understand, we've been working with these guys for nearly 20 years, So it's important to have that relationship. Because not having the product to sell in your restaurant, the right product, even if it's not at the right price, can be an issue.
So what you're saying is supply chain is key to, or is a bottleneck. Yeah,
it's key. It's key, and it's very important to have in place and to have the right partner. Because if you have, if you just worried about price, you won't go far, because because there's always rather have the right guy that can supply you the whole year,
Even I like what you said, even if you pay a little bit extra.
Even if you pay a little bit extra, in the end, it's going to compensate.
Right. And I didn't mean to stop you. You were saying the next bottleneck and
the next thing is technology. For us as brand owners and decision makers, especially for our brand, it's very every few months, weeks, you have something different, new technology. And you have to decide as a brand where you want to go and what you're going to implement. Whatever you decide, you have to make sure you implement it at 120%.
Okay.
Don't implement it at 80% and then jump to a new technology. That is a problem with a lot of brands. They have the technology, but they don't implement it at 120%. So they'll have the app, the order app, and then the customer experience, when they'll try and order, they won't be able to order it and it will go wrong, or it will go to the wrong store because they didn't give it, even if the technology is already not the latest one, make sure the technology that you implement in your restaurant, being it self-service kiosks or apps on your mobile device, make sure it works 120%. Make sure that your customer experience, when he uses that technology, it works, and the whole customer experience is good.
I hear you saying that restaurants nowadays, they cannot work without technology. They have to have the right technological tools. And I can see your excitement when you're insistence on how.
I'm a big fan of technology, and it's helped our business a lot. With COVID, I think when it comes to technology, the business has gone 5 years ahead. We had to develop, adapt quickly because we didn't have customers. So we had to have developed all these technology-based products that would get us sales. And with that, it's improved the whole customer experience. So in Burger Ranch, just an example, we have an app. A customer before COVID, we had an app, but in our app we weren't able to order. We weren't ordered to do a delivery. We couldn't do an order for pickup. Now we can do all those things. So now on our app, you can do an order, you can do a pickup, you can order for delivery. It can work through the delivery platforms. We realized before COVID, we relied too much on our delivery suppliers. So now through our app, we're passing on a lot of our customers. We give them better discounts, better options regarding prices. So it's cheaper for them to order on our app than it's cheap than them to order on, let's say, for Uber Eats.
Yes.
And that was something that we learned with the COVID, because before the delivery suppliers, they were an important part of our business, but they represented maybe 8, 9 very good stores, maybe 15%. In COVID, we had stores that relied on Uber Eats for 100%. So we had to change our strategy, and so far it's working very well.
Since you mentioned King David the 19th, King COVID the 19th. I mean, this is how I call it. What changes did you make in your operating manual? Did you consider adding parts to your operating manual relating to maybe managing crisis like that?
Yeah, we've regarding the European Union, they were amazing, and they gave us the restaurant chains, the whole, not only the restaurant chains, but the restaurant market, a whole lot of guidelines that we've implemented and we have now in our operating manual. So a simple guideline that we didn't have before, for example, that now when anybody goes into a restaurant, he has to have the alcohol gel before he goes in. He has to have the mask. All workers need to be masked, obviously. And it's something that we're actually thinking of continuing, because it gives that assurance, and people, I think customers like to see that that look of security when it comes to regarding the whole aspect of it. So it's helped a lot in giving that safety image to customers. So regarding the guidelines, it was really fantastic when it came to seating structure, how many people could sit in a restaurant, how tables could be, flows of customers in and out, things like that. And it's actually helped a lot in the operation process. So it's actually been very good for the business as a whole.
Yeah, thank you for that. The next question I had in mind is about ghost kitchen, and like many people now talk about dark kitchen, ghost kitchen, and
virtual kitchen,
virtual cloud kitchen. They have so many names for it. And in your business, for any of the brands, do you use cloud kitchens anywhere, whether it's on?
We do it. It's a very interesting business model. First of all, you using your structure of a store, people that you have working, and you can virtually sell a product. So we do that with the Portuguese concept we have called Bifana Maria. So we're in locations where we cannot have a physical store, we will put Bifana Maria in OSB minute stakes, Portuguese minute stakes. So virtually through the app or through our delivery partners, customers will be able to order that product from Bifana Maria, and it's done in the OSB kitchens, and it works very well.
Would you allow a franchisee, say in the UAE, to operate your brands from a ghost kitchen to start with, or do they have to have a pilot location before they start operating from ghost kitchen?
Obviously, we would have to look at each partner again. Our partners that are going to develop our brand need to have the same mindset as we do. Have to be as passionate and understand the market as we do. So I think when for a first location, I think they need to have a physical store. But once things are going, they know the market. They have to understand the market, and they have to adapt to it. And then I'll never say no, Sary. Each person that talks to us and looks at our brand, we will decide together.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Is the ghost kitchen concept franchisable?
Yes,
it is
very much so.
Yeah,
very much so.
So maybe I've been thinking about this so much, and there are companies in the UK and in India and other places in the world started franchising the ghost kitchen concept, allowing the franchisee to operate maybe 4 or 5 brands and add from the local market on partnership agreements, other brands. And so you think it is franchisable?
Yeah, we're actually talking to a Spanish company that want to take 2 of our brands to Spain, and they want to develop it in ghost kitchens. So they want to take our brands, but they want to do it in a ghost kitchen, in a virtual kitchen. So and we're seriously looking at it. They want, we already on the agreement phase. So maybe the next time we speak, Sary, we'll have a perfect example of a partnership in another country where they're going to be our franchisees for a virtual kitchen.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm happy that you complimented my thinking, because I think maybe this can change the way the food business is operating worldwide. The ghost kitchen is a brilliant idea. Now, regarding support, you're a franchisor and you are a franchisee. In your opinion, in your professional opinion, what would be the most important element of support that you must provide to your franchisee?
When I talk to the guys in the UA, the guys from Kahala brand, and we need to be on the same level. When we have a problem or we have an issue, they have to give us answers quickly and a solution quickly. We can't be waiting for 2-3 months for a solution. It's a relationship, so you have to work hard at this relationship. But the guys from Kahala brand, they're amazing. They give us the support when it comes to new products. I'm not even talking about the operation manuals and all those things. That's already a taken, that you already have.
That's given, yeah.
That's a given. But marketing ideas, again, what works in the US doesn't necessarily mean works in Portugal. Taking my example, what works in Portugal doesn't necessarily mean will work in the UAE. So we have to work together closely with the marketing team, and we have to, we are free to do our marketing plan, and then we have to show it to them, and they must understand that no, these guys know what they're doing, and they will be able to implement this product. So it has to, there has to be a trust. And I think regarding the partner is very important in this, because they know the market. So in the UAE, if whoever comes to us, to the marketing team, and tells us, look, this will work well with the minute steak. This is what the customers want. I have to, he's in the market. I have to
listen.
I have to believe him and listen to him. And that's important. You can't say no. This is not how you're going to do things.
So that's on the management of the relationship. I was more referring to the support. Is it training? Is it the periodical visits? Is it marketing support? What in your idea, what makes a franchise?
That's all it's taken.
Food and beverage or otherwise,
That's all it's taken again, Sary, because that's what whoever is selling you the franchise, the brand to you, they have to do that already in place. They have to have the operating manual. They have to have the periodical visits. They have to have the periodical conference calls. They have to have the marketing. They have to have that in place.
So what are you
doing?
saying? Yeah, what are you saying? These are basics. We cannot even discuss this.
You shouldn't even discuss it.
Yeah, right.
Because
Okay.
that's a taken already. Because if a brand doesn't have that, what is he doing in the market?
Right. So what you're saying is what is beyond that is the management of the relationship with the
very important.
with the franchise.
Very, very important. Very, very important.
Yeah, I like your thinking. That's wisdom. I mean, experience.
Sary?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Can we move the questions to the end, please? We have another maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll open the. We'll open the time for questions from everyone. Is that okay with everyone? Mr. Ziad?
Yes,
go ahead, Luis. Please continue your. If you're listening, everyone, we have maybe another 8 minutes, and then we'll take questions for half an hour after that, if that's okay with everyone. Because the discussion is really interesting. We're talking about experience and knowledge, experience, and wisdom. This is how I put it.
It's more experience because we have done we're not going to think the partner.
Hello? Go ahead.
Finding the right partner that has the local knowledge, that has the financial ability, that has access to supply chain is what we value as a brand more than all the things that already are given. The partner needs to know the market, needs to understand what's happening in the market, needs to have the right supply chain all in place, because that's the only way to grow.
For me, I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, supply chain in food and beverage franchises is the backbone of
the backbone.
Without supply chain, having the right product and at the right price, in the right place, at the right time, and I know you work very hard because there is in your country, halal is not an important issue. While when you take your brands outside of Portugal and you had experience in Saudi and other places, you had to redesign your product, your menu.
We had to work very closely with our partner to source halal certified products. And again, it all sounds very simple, but actually putting it in process, it's a very tough, especially for people that have never done this. Again, the right partner has access to this because he's dealing with this every day. So the supply chain, the right, finding the right producers, the guys that can help us, very important, and will make the relationship grow. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want the success of the brand, and we all want money in our pocket.
Right.
And we when we as a brand that wants to, the brands that want to go into the UAE, we ready to work and to help our local partners. So yeah.
I know. I mean, you're an incredible person, very detailed, and when it comes to supporting your franchisees, I've seen it with my own eyes, how careful you are in attending. You treat your franchisee with a lot of love and respect and care, which is great. Who would be your ideal franchisee? I mean, if I come to you and say, okay, I want to take a franchise for Burger Ranch or OCBQ, what criteria would you have in mind for choosing your franchisee?
For me, for us, very important to have that experience in the local market.
Mm-hmm.
Has to have a business structure in place. Has to be in the industry. It's very difficult for me to say to a guy that doesn't have that experience to take this responsibility, because it seems very easy.
So do I qualify, or I'm too academic for you?
You qualify. You qualify.
Yeah, please continue. I didn't mean to stop you. Please go ahead. Please continue.
You qualify. You always qualify, Sary.
Thank you.
But having again a partner that has that experience in the local market, that has access to supply chain, that knows how the business model works. So what would be interesting to a company would be somebody that already is a restaurant operator, or has a portfolio of restaurant brands or other franchise brands, and knows how this works. That is the type of person we're looking for.
Right. So what I hear you saying, that you cannot sign just for the sake of signing a franchise agreement.
No.
You can reject someone because he's not the ideal person to become your franchisee.
He's not, I'm just basically saving everybody's time and money, especially his, because unless he is able to put all this in place and has the financial ability to do that. But in my experience, what I've gone through and I've seen, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And again, I'll give you our example. This is what Kahala Brands and the guys from the UK, Walk and Go, saw in us, because we had that experience in the market. So we were the perfect partners for their brand.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I mean, unlike some franchisors who only see a franchisee as a check to be deposited in the bank,
which is also good, obviously, but we're looking at a long-term relationship. We want everybody to grow, and I'm still very young.
Yeah. I know that you're a big company, and which makes you great as a franchisor to your franchisees, and makes me feel very comfortable that you're not waiting for the first check to be signed. And like I've heard, I've read somewhere that one brand had only one condition to qualify a franchisee, which is if he can breathe, he can become our franchisee. Believe it or not. So I mean, to the minimum, yeah. Right. No, one last question, and I know people are impatient to join and ask questions.
Sure.
And we'll go one by one and see if they have questions. What is your best advice to somebody who wants to take a franchise?
First of all,
your very honest advice.
First of all, you have to see the uniqueness of that brand. It has to be something that you believe in. Don't look at it just for the money or the financial thing of the whole thing. You have to love the brand. You have to see, no, this can work in my market. This is what people they need. If you want to multi-scale it, then the financial aspect comes to it. Look at a brand that's easy to grow, that won't cost you millions of dollars to develop. Like every store you open costs you millions of dollars. see the turnaround, or how quick you get your money back. Because it's all glamorous and fun, but if you invest in these high-end locations, and then it will take you 12, 13 years to pay back, it's not interesting. We look at our business model, we look at anything that's over 4 years is not interesting for us. I'm not talking about building, I'm talking about a restaurant. So a restaurant, the initial investment.
A payback period, what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The payback period has to be anything 4 years and under. So
I mean, I would prefer if it is 3 years or less.
Yeah. In Europe, because of all the high taxes, we look at 4 years and under. Okay.
Right.
I know that we have spoken about this before, that in the UAE they look at anything 3 years and under.
Yeah, please go ahead. Please continue.
3 years and under. Again, when you're looking at a concept, look at all those things. Just don't just see if there's a need, see the financial aspects of it when it comes to cost and operating. Because some of the stuff, if you have to be importing things from I don't know where, maybe the business won't be viable. See if you can source your products locally. See if the franchisor is open to that. Ask him about how the local marketing aspect would work. Who would do it? Are they obliged to do what works in another country if they're obliged to do it in the local market? The realistic franchise fee. Yeah. I know we haven't spoken about that, but I think it's a very important aspect. Again, when it came to the Americans, they're fantastic. I've got a lot of time for them, but they weren't realistic to our local market. So we had to show them. We had to say, look, this is what works here. You can't expect us to pay these fees. It's not viable. We can only pay so much. Let's work. Let's get the business going. Let's understand if the concept works. And they agreed with us, and they saw, no, these guys know what they're doing. And so we need to, when you look at the franchise, the franchising fee system has to be viable in the market. You can't charge crazy fees, especially in the food industry, because the bottom line is you need the franchise needs to make money. Yeah.
Okay. I totally agree, especially when it comes to the franchise fee. As a consultant, I always say it's not how much you can afford to pay. It's because I know people, without knowing, they pay millions of dollars for a license fee or a franchise fee for a big brand, thinking, but it's not that. Will the business afford to pay that much money? It's not about you as a person. Maybe you have, God bless you, have millions of dollars or billions, and you can pay anything, but it's the business. Now, thank you very much, Luis. I want to take questions, so I'm going to start with Mr. Amr Horani. I'm going to unmute Mr. Amr, and please share your video, please, if you want.
Okay, just 1 second, please.
Please.
Actually,
you can't.
You disable it. You disable it, Mr. Sary. You are disabled.
I did.
Yes.
Okay, please. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. No, that's all right. That's all right. First of all, good afternoon, Mr. Lewis. Good afternoon, Mr. Sary. Actually, yes, in Jordan now it's afternoon time. First of all, I want to thank you both for this is valuable information that all of you that shared it with us in terms of franchise. I have actually a few questions. I will not take long because I will give some space for other people.
That's really important. That we.
Yes, it's very important.
Yeah,
yes, Mr. Sary. Okay. First question is: did we need to categorize the types of the branches categories? As example, can we making categories in terms of the brand itself and make it as example and located in the malls, standalone, caravans, somewhere else? It depends on the location or the topography of the place.
What's important is always the location. Don't worry about it being a standalone or being at a mall or being at a caravan, like you said. Worry about the location, especially when it comes to burger brands. Nowadays, burger industry is all convenient. If you're in the right location and you are going by, it's convenient for you. You will go inside and you will consume that. Worry always about the right location. Get the best location you can afford. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know your market in Jordan. I don't know what works or what is. Sorry. Hello?
Yeah. Please go on. You're answering Mr. Amr Rouhani.
Okay.
Question.
So again, we don't stipulate a type of restaurant you need to operate. So so if you're working with us, we will work together and we will say, okay, we will develop 10, 15 restaurants, and our main goal is to open 2 corporate stores or 3 corporate stores, and then you will start franchise. We will work together with you because you're the local expert. You're the guy that knows the local market, okay? And then we will work together and find a way you will find a way of developing those stores, yeah. So it doesn't mean that you will have to open 10 more locations or 10 standalone. It all depends on your local market. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Luis. God bless you, Mr. Amr Rouhani, and all the people of Jordan. We love you. And thank you
much
very
appreciated.
Mr. Alfie, you ready with your question?
Gentlemen, thank you very much for hosting this event, Mr. Sary, and you, Luis, for the expertise.
Thank you.
The question was about how would you maybe elaborated a little bit, Luis, but the debate here, if a franchisee came to you as a franchisor and you have 2, the options. One is new in the market, but they show good calibers and the know-how. They have let's say, the manpower or the qualified manpower, but it's a very new company. While the other one is an old company in the market, but you're not the only one who they have, let's say, 6 or 8 other brands. As a franchisor, I know that usually you will go for the old experienced one, but sometimes it might not be the best thing for your organization, because they won't be keen to go fast as you would request. Don't you think so?
I agree.
While the new one will be very eager to succeed and to escalate the openings.
Sure. You have positive things from both things. With the new guys, you will be able to grow together. You'll be able to adapt together. The risk is less. I'm sure it's much cheaper to invest in them. Regarding the older guys, the experience weighs a lot. But again, what works in some markets doesn't necessarily mean it will work in another market. And if the new guys have got the right product, I would put all my, I'd put all my money on them. It depends again, what is the uniqueness of the new guys? Why are they doing so well? Why are customers going to their stores? And it will give you a chance to. I like to bet on the smaller guys, because I'm a small guy myself. I'm competing in a.
That's very humble of you, Luis.
Yeah, but I understand my dimension, and I understand the concepts I have. But there's space. What people must understand is there's space for the small guy. People like the small guy. People like those small options. So it's a decision that you have to make, that you have to decide on. You can go with the bigger guys, and obviously you'll have more security. But maybe if you bet on the smaller guys, maybe you'll have more success and make more money at the end of the day.
Can I ask you, please, everybody, to turn on your videos, because I can see people started to leave. But before we take the next question, I want to show videos, and we say, all of us, thank you, Luis, for this wonderful. It's going to be for our records.
Okay.
So if you want to turn on your videos, who are ever left still there in the webinar, and we say thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Luis.
I hope we can make this again, Mr. Sary, Mr. Lewis.
Yeah.
I have plenty of questions, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, I'm driving. I'm driving, but I'm trying to interfere.
Yeah, be careful.
Hello.
Mr. Jamal, please go ahead.
Hi, how are you? Actually, I don't have specific questions, but I want to thank you first, Mr. Sary, and thanks for Mr. Lewis for this very interesting webinar. But I have to continue what Mr. Amro was asking about, is to have like different types of or different sizes of the franchise concept.
Of the store, of the story.
Yes, of the store, and because we all know when talking about restaurant business and F&B business, different sizes of store will request different types of operations. And for the so when we have more than one module, if you want to say, so this is can be still under the same franchise, even if it's the same brand, but it will still under the same franchise deal or agreement between franchisee and franchisor.
Did you get this question?
If I understand correctly, the gentleman, Mr. Jamal, is asking if he does an agreement with us, if he will be able to operate it in another restaurant brand. Is that what he's saying, Mr. Sary?
Okay, the same brand. Okay, let's say your brand is requirement is a shop of, for example, 100 square meter with X number of seated area plus kitchen space, specific. Okay, and then I'm the franchisee for your brand. In a specific market, and then I got maybe another location with different specs, for example, bigger or smaller. So I have to adjust all of these.
And you're saying if it's possible?
Yes, you as the franchisor, you will allow this to be done, or you have to adjust. So the support from your side.
If I rephrase this question, Luis, is your concepts scalable when it comes to store location?
Yes, they are available. You see, again,
scalable is the key word.
Scalable. It all depends again on the location. if our partner tells us we have the right location for this and it needs to partner with this brand, we have to believe him. You know, in Portugal, space is a big issue. Again, I'll give you an example of the Americans. In America, everything is big. So when we told them, look, we can't do stores like you guys have in the US. We have to scale it down to a smaller size. I says, but how? What size are your stores? No, we do anything from 100 to 150. Our biggest stores will maybe be 200 meters. Oh, but our smallest store is 300 square meters. Okay, that's in the US. So we have to, the local partner has to, and we understand that you have to adapt to local conditions. What's important to us is that the location has to be the right location. Everything else is doesn't matter, you know. So we'll adapt it to the store size. Okay.
I want to take the next question from Ms. Nazha Sadiq.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Jamal.
Thank you.
Ms. Nazha, if you're ready with your question, can you unmute and maybe join with the video? Right. If not, then we'll take the next question from Myserine. Okay, not ready. Mrs. Noor.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Of course,
Hi.
yeah. Thank you very much for joining.
Absolutely.
Mrs. Noor comes from a beautiful background of fashion brand that converts art into fashion. And she's interested, of course, she is in an early stage of the franchise journey, and she wanted to learn from you, Luis, how she can be successful with her franchise. So what is your question, Mrs. Noor?
Thank you, Sary, and thank you, Luis. I just, for me, we're just brand new in terms of franchising right now, and it was a very interesting session. I know you said a lot about location, and probably just maybe one thing as being, for us, we've been 10 years with our brand, but right now we feel that we're ready to franchise. And Sary's been just great at holding our hand right now at the beginning. I guess my question maybe would be, what would be your advice for any company or a brand starting, like to look at things that you didn't think, for example, when you're thinking about franchising, something that you didn't anticipate, but it would be probably an important point to look into when franchising, and especially that we're not F&B, we are retail.
That's a great question. Thank you very much. I'm sure
Thank you.
Luis can answer this.
Things that I took for granted that I understood of the business, in the early days, I thought everybody knew. And that's something that you mustn't take for granted. People don't know everything. So you have to be very detailed in what you send them and explain to them. Don't take it for granted. They don't know anything. A lot of people don't know anything about the industry, especially when it comes to local franchisees. Go into detail with your documentation. Go into detail with your business plan, especially when you're at an advanced stages, so that they understand your business model. You basically going into a marriage with these people.
Yes.
So you can't hide anything from them. You have to be very clear with that. And in the early days, we thought, no, these guys, they're asking questions, they know what they're doing, and they didn't. And we've changed that. We give all the info. When a partner has a meeting with us, or a customer has a meeting with us, when they leave the meeting, we make sure they understand everything and they understand the business. And if they have questions or doubts, we do a follow-up, and so that they know exactly what they're getting into. because it's very romantic, this whole franchising business model. People think that, okay, because it's a franchise, it will work. And it's not, it depends a lot on the person that gets the brand. It depends on a lot of variables. And a lot of people don't understand that. So be very clear with that and give them information that when they read it or that when you're talking to them, make sure they understand that. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Very valid point. Thank you.
Yeah. Mohammed Shiraz, do you want to join with a question?
Thank you, Sary. Thank you, Luis, for a wonderful time, and explanations were precise and pretty clear to understand. We are also similar to what she just explained. We are actually planning to franchise after 11 years of restaurant operation. The problem is the market experience. We got a lot of inquiries from people who have experience in other kind of business, not hospitality.
If you don't mind me asking, Mr. Mohammed, what is your business?
We are into restaurant chain, where we have a few branches in UAE and Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Now our issue is the franchisee request which are coming. It's coming from business owners who holds other business like maybe protein powder. They have other business, not like restaurant, and they have experience in franchising, but not in our industry. Then how we will tackle that? They have experience, but not in the line we are required to have.
It's always a difficult decision. My experience is that people that want to take, if you are able to give them the operational support, and even if they don't have the experience in the local market, it can work. If you give it to, for example, I don't know where you're based. You said you're in the UAE and you have a restaurant in Saudi Arabia. If you're going to sell, if you're going to sell a master franchisee for Kuwait, for example, I would suggest no. You need to be very close to these franchisees. You need to be able to give them the support. If you are able to do that, I think you can.
Kuwait is not very far, by the way.
I know, but you have to be present in the market.
Right. Because, I know what you're talking about. It's the geographical proximity, which is great. Yeah.
Because the supply chain in the UAE, I don't believe will be the same as the supply chain in Saudi Arabia. And I don't believe it will be the same as in Kuwait. So if you have this in place, okay, I would risk it. But in a different country, I would wait until you're stronger.
If I may add, if you allow me, Luis, if Mr. Mohammed Shiraz, if they have retail experience, do you know what is retail? Whether it's food or otherwise, or fashion, or retail is retail, right? It's retailing. So that's one point to take. If they have a local market know-how, if they have access to location. So what I'm saying here is it's not because they are not in the same industry, they don't have maybe the managerial and operational infrastructure to accommodate the incoming brand. So what I'm saying here, you need to break down your criteria more than just to have experience in the same restaurant business. So correct. It is at the end of the day, franchising is a management system, right? And management. If they have the right management, if they have the right people, if they have the right operations, if they have the right culture, right? Like I mentioned, access to location, if they're able to very quickly develop stores if they have the financial ability. If they understand your supply chain and they're willing to invest in building a platform for the perfect supply chain for your goods, right? Then they're qualified. But if they come from, like I hear you, they come from, say, for example, from a distributorship background, yeah?
Correct.
Then they're not maybe qualified because the distributorship structure is different from retail.
Correct. And our worry is that we came from some similar background, and it took 4 to 5 years for us to understand the industry and thrive from there. Means, it will take time. We understand by our own experience that it will usually take time. But, we don't want to avoid everyone who is coming for franchising saying that, you don't have this kind of specific experience.
Yeah,
thank you for the answers, guys.
I hope just break it down into smaller elements and make sure that you give them 1 mark out of 10. And if in your opinion they qualify, they qualify. And then I go back to what Luis has said. It all relies on you. If you're able to provide the right support to somebody who is no restaurant experience, then because it's not NASA science, it's simple. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, we know how complicated it is, but compared to other industries and other businesses, it's not, like complicated chemistry. Anyway, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We just have 2 minutes to say big thank you, Luis.
Thank you,
for
Sary.
this wonderful session. We thank everyone who have joined. We thank everyone who would be able to continue with us until the end. Your contribution was very valuable. And let's say thank you, Luis.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Luis.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you again. And please,
hopefully.
you have our my email.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have my email address. If you have further questions, if you have any input, please share with us, and we'll be happy to answer you. We'll send you an evaluation form for us to understand your feedback about this. But of course, nothing is perfect. We continue to improve ourselves, and we hope to see you again very soon in our next webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks. You take care.
Yes. Bye.
Thank you.